So in today's video, we'll be looking at fragrances for the decades. So basically fragrances from around 13 years old to 19, and then in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. What kind of fragrances should you be wearing, or at least the fragrances I recommend? And I think I've cultivated a good group here for this video, so hopefully you guys like it, and if you do, let me know. So starting off, when you're in your teens, getting into fragrance, it can be hard. You don't know what to pick. Some smell way too strong, like an oud fragrance. Some smell way too different, like you don't fit in. So as a young, relatively, I guess a kid at that point, or I guess getting to be more of an adult phase, you want something that's a bit less on the trigger, less overwhelming, a bit less power, something that's easy to wear, maybe something that's citrusy. So for that reason, we've got Nautica Voyage. It's a cheap fragrance. It's $17. This fragrance, pretty much I can describe it as very vibrant and invigorating. It's got the opening of some green leaf. It's very crisp and it almost smells like an apple in the opening. And I believe it does have apple, but with the green leaf, it makes the apple even more crispy. And then it's got some sailcloth accord, which gives it the saltiness, which you can actually tell and almost, resembles like marine saltiness when you smell things that are salty or taste things that are salty. So it's got a bit of a adventurous type of scent. So if you like going out to the beach or going on vacations, something easy to wear, something that's cheap that you can kind of forgive if it doesn't perform or might break or something, you can just buy another one because these are $17. So this is the first fragrance. So now you've moved on from your 13, 14, 15-year-old days, and now you want something a bit more powerful. It's got still the same elements of the citrus or something in that territory, like oceanic or aquatic fragrances, and maybe even salty fragrances, I don't know. This fragrance is called Chrome Azzaro. Now this fragrance I've got history with because this is the first fragrance I've ever smelt in my entire life. So my older brother had it and I smelt it. I started to realize what fragrances can do at the age of 8 or 9. So that's when I started using this, but I'm recommending it these days to people that are more in their 16, 17-year-old days or 18-year-old days. Although I don't have that young of a group of people watching me, so yeah, I might as well get on moving to the next group of people, because I know people in their 20s are watching my videos. So let's move on to Invictus. Invictus, oh man, grapefruit, very zesty, very citrusy, but also has some sugariness over it. It's like the sweet bubblegum. It's a very ambitious fragrance because it does come off as a super sweet fragrance in the air, and it's very heavy. I suggest if you're a Saturday for the boys type of guy, don't rock this one because it's really strong. It's gonna make the boys around you be like, holy crap, man, why are you wearing that? We're chilling out here and on the couch, we're not going out to the club. So just watch out with this one because it can be really strong. This fragrance has got grapefruit, bay leaf, oceanic notes, sea notes, so a bit of saltiness as well. However, this is the next step up. So you tried your Chrome Azzaro, you tried your Nautica Voyage, now you're moving step by step, you're entering your 20s, boom, you get this one. Alright, and now you are past your mid-20s, you want something to get just right, a fragrance that will probably start off in your mid-20s, but then keep going with you till mid 40s at least. This fragrance is Dior Sauvage. It's got that versatility. It's got the zestiness of a bergamot, the best bergamot I've smelled, honestly. It's got a really nice peppery opening. So it starts off with the bergamot, and then the peppery opening comes through, just adding this, like, you know, if you mix lime with ice and put alcohol in it, you can smell the lime overpower the alcohol. And that's what happens when the ambroxan comes in. It adds this ambergris layer, which almost smells like saltiness, but it's toned down by the pepper. So the pepper calms down that ambroxan, and it just kind of smells almost metallic in a way. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a beautiful scent. I would highly recommend it. Alright, so next up we're moving to the 30s. Now this is where most of my viewers are at. So you've progressed. You've now smelled Dior Sauvage, one of the most versatile scents out there. And you know, it's around everywhere. Everyone has it. You haven't really progressed to the fine line yet. You gotta get introduced to Bleu de Chanel. I have the Parfum version, but you can have the EDT, you can have the EDP. Any of them work as long as you use it to your advantage to get confident. Because what this fragrance does for me is it just brings out this scent that kind of just makes you want to drive, makes you want to get motivational. Yeah, it's a beautiful fragrance. I mean, it's got the strongest amount of lemon zest, or that lemon element in the parfum, that I've ever smelled. It's super strong, but it's yet aromatic and kind of sophisticated as it dries down, and it can really smell like a nice masculine aromatic scent as it dries down. But when it starts off, it just smells like good old lemons and a little bit of cleanliness and a little bit of, you know, some classic blue ambroxan type of elements all there. But when it dries down, it becomes totally different. It's like this calm, mature, woody, and the citrus, you know, toned down. So it's like almost like a fresh type of scent, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful scent. I would definitely recommend this one. Now, when we talk about sophistication and matureness, one fragrance comes in mind to me. And now you've moved on from Bleu de Chanel in your early 30s to now entering a new territory. This fragrance, to me, I don't know why, but for some reason to me, it just attracts 30-year-old moms. Not in a weird way, by the way. I'm just trying to say that the people that notice it the most are usually 30-year-old moms, so somewhere in their 30s. So this fragrance works perfectly for the people in their 30s if it works like how it does in my favor. Acqua di Gio Parfumo by Giorgio Armani. It's a beautiful scent. It takes that classic Acqua di Gio DNA, that citrusy, beautiful summer fragrance that is one of the best sellers, and then it adds patchouli on top, which adds this almost incense smokiness, and I believe it does have incense on top of that as well. So it suddenly goes from the citrusy fragrance that it used to be, but then when they put the Parfumo line, it became just this masculine, woody, light bit of citrus, light bit of spice. It is so beautifully done. It's wonderful to smell. However, whenever I use this, I have to be wearing like a suit. I have to be looking professional, because I don't really feel like I should wear this fragrance if I'm not, you know, dressed properly or ready for the occasion. So now moving up in your 40s, you have experienced quite a few fragrances in your lifetime. You've got some Acqua di Gio Parfumo in there. You've got Bleu de Chanel Parfum, or any Bleu de Chanel. You got Dior Sauvage, one of the most popular fragrances for men. But now you want a bit of an element in your life, right? You're in your 40s, you want some element. You want something that brings out more out of you, something that almost reminds you of certain events in your life, or maybe it's just an attractive smell or something you like. This is Spice Bomb by Victor and Rolf. Spice Bomb, as the name implies, it really is a spice bomb. Like, there's cinnamon in here, there's pepper, there's something like paprika in here. I don't know what the heck's going on. Although I know, I don't know, but I don't know how they managed to make pepper smell so like sexy and unique. It's like a clean smell, almost like fresh air, but then there's like this element in it, like this like almost like spice clouds in the air just coming through. And it smells, the spice smells so light, but with this fresh background pushing it through, it almost smells like clean spice. Yeah, I didn't mean that as a pun, by the way, to Old Spice, but Spice Bomb, great fragrance, lasts a long time too. And Extreme, if you want a little bit more sweetness, like from vanilla, then try the Extreme. Alright, the next fragrance needs no introduction. This is Creed Aventus for your upper 40s. However, I mean, this fragrance, just like Dior Sauvage, I think could be rocked at any age. Whatever age you want to wear it in. Because this is another fragrance I believe brings out confidence. I don't know if it's just the status of this fragrance or the amount you have to pay for it that makes it more special, or just the amount of hype it's got and the amount of memories that we all have, that when we first unboxed it, we smelt it and we were like, wow, this is legit stuff. This thing is really good. The only reason to me, I would say to use it at any point is because it just smells so damn good in each category. It's got the opening, it's got this beautiful smoky citrus like pineapple, you get black currant, you get some woods like some birch in there. It's so beautiful. I don't know, the transition from the beginning to the middle where it becomes a bit more smoky, a bit more ambergris, which again is saltiness, but in this fragrance, because I believe they use real ambergris, which by the way is sperm or a whale's sperm, by the way, just in case you guys wanted to know. Yeah, we pay $400 for this bottle to get sperm from a whale in it. And that stuff costs a lot too. I don't know why other sperm doesn't cost that much, but anyways. Alright. Creed Aventus. This fragrance, I mean, it's sophisticated, confident, mature, masculine. The person who's in charge of what's going on, the CEO, I guess, is what people described it as at one point. But it's got everything in it. It's got the classic best opening type of scent. Then it's got one of the best dry downs in my entire journey of fragrances. And I'll be honest, this fragrance has got things to it. But I don't know if it would be like top 3 for me. If it didn't get all the hype, I don't know if I would even really consider it that special. I think the hype definitely helps. But then, however, when you take a second to calm down, kind of take away all the hype, this fragrance, I mean, it's a nice fragrance. Oh man, we got a long video right now. My camera stopped twice, so I guess I'm at 20 minutes. Oh wow. Alright. Probably gonna have to cut out a lot because I haven't done a long video. And I mean, if you guys like this format of me just talking, because I feel like I've been talking for a while, but at the same time, I've gone through 8 fragrances. So there's only 2 more left, and we're approaching our 50s, I believe. Entering the 50s, you have just got yourself Creed Aventus. You're like, who else should I get? What else should I buy? You know, what is there to explore? I've gotten Creed Aventus. It's one of the best fragrances out there according to people. So what else? Then you get thrown Tom Ford Oud Wood, right? You're like, Oud Wood. It's nice, but Then you get thrown this fragrance, Tuscan Leather. Now, people describe this as cocaine, or it smells like cocaine. To me, I don't know what cocaine smells like, but I do know it's got this scent it stuns you. It's so strong, I could almost imagine this is what cocaine would smell like. It's so strong, like almost smells like you've dug a hole somewhere and you're like sniffing your nose into it, of like whatever this fragrance contains. It's so beautiful. It's got leather, as the name implies, and it's got a lot of raspberry. And there has been quite a few clones of this fragrance, so you can probably find it for a cheaper price. I just bit the bullet a few years ago and got a 50ml bottle, and I don't regret it. This is probably one of my favorite fragrances, even though I don't really use it. But again, I mean, I'm saying it suits more of the people in their 50s, so I've still got a long time to go. But I'll be holding this fragrance and hope you guys like it too. If you have this fragrance and you haven't given it a try or haven't given it a chance, I would say try it out. Just don't think about it. Go out and try it and have some fun. And I'm sure you'll get people's attention with this one. All right, last but not least, this fragrance is the ultimate, sort of the grandfather or the grandmaster of fragrances. This is probably one of the highest rated fragrances on Fragrantica. It's got 4.5 out of 5 with like a lot of votes. It's like a lot of votes. It's not one of those fragrances that is like 4.8 out of 5 but has like 5 votes. No, this one has, I think, like somewhere like tens of thousands, I think. I don't know, I haven't checked, but Dior Homme Intense is that fragrance. And if you guys haven't tried it, if you guys are not sure about it, whatever you think, I would just highly suggest getting a sample and just seeing for yourself what you think of it. Because I know this fragrance, I mean, it's not the best smelling fragrance, but there's something about it that I don't know if it's the way people described it. Maybe it might be. Not too beautiful if you've smelled lipstick before, because it smells kind of like it. But when you think about the way it's blended, the stuff it's got in there, it's got like chocolate, it's got iris, which you can smell, which is probably what that lipsticky smell is coming from. So let me just try to describe this fragrance to you guys. If you haven't tried it, I hope I can describe it in my best ability to allow you to possibly experience a fragrance without actually going to smell it. But I would highly recommend if you do so. So this fragrance, some of the notes it's got is iris, lavender, chocolate, amber, all the sweet type of scents, all the powdery scents combined in one, bringing you this powdery, woody scent from the iris. Then you've got the amber, the lavender, bringing that floralness, the natureness, the beauty of quality. And then you've got the amber, which is bringing this warmness, this sensual atmosphere that's very radiating, and people around you just can definitely smell this, but they just don't have anything to say because it just is so beautiful and so elegant in the air. It's so sophisticated, and it's probably one of Dior's most sophisticated scents, and it's perfect for anybody. You don't have to be in your 50s, but for anybody that is willing or is attempting to find a fragrance that will make a statement for themselves or will just make them feel a bit more bold and confident and a bit more driven, then you should try this fragrance. I mean, it definitely brings that out. And if you wear this with a suit and tie combo for some reason. I don't know if it's just psychology or subconscious, but when you wear this with a professional clothes or dressed up, you just feel good for some reason. I don't know. I might have to do a video on wellness and fragrance maybe next time. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video is probably going to be uploaded very late or very early, I guess, but I will upload another video the time you're seeing this, the same day, probably at night. So Friday night, keep an eye out for another video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I thoroughly enjoyed making this video. Let me know if you guys like this video, and I appreciate all the support you guys have been showing recently. Thank you very much, and have a blessed night or a blessed weekend and a blessed life.